There we go. Okay. Stream Elements was like, I'm just not going to work for a second. Hello, Danny.
Be like that sometimes. Well,
Yeah, I know, right? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those of you in between, welcome back to the Trials of Casuals podcast. Uh, my name is Dominic Fox, with my co-host here.
Catbox Day. Hello.
Hello. So I do have a little. I just have like a small piece of news for this week, Danny. Just something small. Um,
Yeah.
following in, and we'll do that first, and then we'll get into the special that we're going to be doing today. So, currently on my side monitor here, I am currently watching the next set of games for MSI for League of Legends, and I have to comment that yet again, of course, that the final four teams at MSI were all Eastern teams. The number one and two seed from Korea and the number one and two seed from China. Um, and it is so sad because the games, I believe, yesterday, no, it was the day before. Because yesterday, I think, was Gen G versus T1. It might have been Gen G versus T1. It was either yesterday or the day before. Was FlyQuest versus BLG, Billy Billy Gaming. And it is the most roundabout game I had, like, roundabout series I had ever seen. Because starting off, okay, it is
Yeah.
so ridiculous, mind you, okay. To start off, FlyQuest, our NA number one seed, wins game one, which is pretty insane, okay. They just
Yeah.
straight up just outdrafted BLG. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Uh, and then they get absolutely shafted game two and game three. Game four, right? So game three, they get absolutely demolished and make the worst pick in the entire series I have ever seen. Game four is the most just ass backwards game I think I've ever watched. So it is absolutely balls to the wall. FlyQuest is just, like, mind you, they are down, I believe, in kills and gold at like the 10-minute mark, and then they just went and just said, fuck it, and just started hammering every single objective and every single tower, and then won game four. And was
My
like, it was a
God.
dominating game. Like, they demolished BLG game four, and then proceeded to completely int themselves in like a 28-4 game in game five. And I was like, what? NA, come on, man. You just had the most banger, most entertaining game that NA has had all MSI, and you gave me this. Like, brother. Brother. And literally, as we are recording this right now, we are watching, for spoilers. Um, if you have not watched the series yet, go watch that. Pause the video. Go watch it now. Still here? Okay, cool. As I talk right now, anyone's legend, the number one LPL team, the number one Chinese team, just beat BLG, which is the number two Chinese team, which means anyone's legend will now go on to fight T1 for the chance to fight in the championship for MSI. So that is the news that I have. Also, EU sucks. EU sucks. EU got absolutely just blasted. This MSI. So to put in perspective, okay, I will give you the quick thing. So G2, mind you, who had to play in the round robin, or who had to play in the or had to play in the best of five series play-ins, right? The best of five series play-in matches to get into the MSI tournament ended up getting second place in the play-ins, which qualified them. BLG got number one. Okay,
Yeah.
G2 fought up against Gen G, considered the number one team in the world. So of course they lost, and so then G2 goes up into FlyQuest and loses 3-0. Movie star Koi played Billy Gaming, who were the #1 team from the play-ins, lost 3-1, and then proceeded to get knocked out by the Flying Oysters, CFO, which was the only team in MSI that was from a minor region. So both EU teams got knocked out in the lower bracket in round 1.
My God.
Yeah, and it's crazy because G2 has been like the hope of the West for a long time. So it was like in their recent pickups of Skewmon and Labrov were not good. But like and I stated it to like all of my friends. I'm like, Movie Star Koi is going to lose to CFO because Movie Star Koi only knows how to dumpster other EU teams. They don't know how to play internationally because it happened last year when they went to Worlds and they got absolutely fucking bodied by literally everyone. So I was like, they're gonna lose the Flying Oysters because Flying Oysters is just gonna do what they're gonna do, which is run the map. They're just gonna run all over the map, and Movie Star Core is not gonna be able to keep up. And they lost 3-1. Like the series was not close. Like, and Movie Star Koi hard into like I think it was game 3. I think it was game 3 or game 4. They hard inted. Like they got a lead and then just shit themselves. And I'm like, brother, this is why I hate NA and EU because like we just have no hope of ever winning a championship anytime soon.
The struggle.
The struggle, yeah, no, the struggle is real. So yeah, so currently, the next games, which I believe are tomorrow. No, when are the next games? Actually, let me take a look. When are the next games? The next games, yeah, the next games are tomorrow at 8 p.m. EST. It is Anyone's Legend versus T1. Whoever wins that goes and plays Gen G for the championship at MSI. Which is nuts. So there's that. But yeah, so that's my little news for the week. I don't know if you've got anything that you want to go over, Danny, real quick before we get into the fun stuff.
I know this week's been pretty quiet aside from that.
All right, well then I am going to go ahead and I'm going to move us into. You'll notice I have. Oh, hey! Well, you won't be able to notice on your end. But there's just it's just a pitch black screen, and it's just video games that defined a generation. Your top 5 and my top 5. Um, and so, how would you like to determine who goes first? Did Danny?
That's a good question.
So, because the best thing that I can do is, let me see if I have a quarter here. This is going to be really awkward because I have to do this. So here's the quarter. No tricks. Danny, call heads or tails, and I will try to catch it on the back of my hand and then show it to the camera as best as possible.
I'm gonna go with tails.
Tails? All right, so here's the quarter. All right. It's tails. Would you like to go? It's hard to see. There you go. It's tails. Would you like to go first or second?
You know what? I'm gonna go second.
Ooh, okay. Then let me go ahead and I will get my pickup first. So, my so I'm coming out the gate with a what I would say is a certifiable banger. Um, I'm gonna rip it away because I think a lot of people, especially people that played shooting games, I'm gonna take Halo right off the rip. I'm gonna take Halo 1.
Fair.
Uh,
I mean, that's fair.
I just think that when because there's a because I want to have a we'll do like little mini conversations about all the picks that we have. I just think that like there's a lot of great choices for shooting games, right? Like you have a plethora of them.
Oh yeah.
I actually have three shooting games on this list. But I chose Halo because there was just something so special about the graphics at the time, right? Because at the time they were cutting edge graphics. The absolute banger that was the soundtrack of Halo, right? And the story was so compelling. And at certain points of the game, it was a horror game. Like level 4
Yeah.
where you have to go into the flood, go into the swamp and fight the flood. Brother, that shit was terrifying as a kid. But Halo defined the reason why I pick Halo is because it just defined a specific time in that generation where FPS games just reigned supreme. Like Halo came out, and then every other FPS game that came out after it had to step it up a notch. And I mean, because Bungie
Yeah.
just knocked it out of the park.
It's one of those things. Like it came out at the perfect time for it.
It really was a perfect storm of a choice. Like it was a perfect storm of a game, and that's why I was like, I have to take this before you possibly steal it from me. So, with that being said, Danny, what do you got for your first pick?
Let's see. For my first pick,
Because
I'm
I just
actually
picked 10 games, and I'm just kind of going down the list, and if we have the same one, I'm just crossing it off mine.
yeah, that's fair. I have a few that I was bouncing around of which ones I would go for, but I think a game that really defined a generation, and this is gonna probably come out of left field. Sonic 2.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Surprisingly, not on my list, even though I am a big proponent of the Sonic games,
Because
especially Sonic Adventures.
like Sonic 2, for instance, I went with Sonic 2 instead of the adventure games for one reason. Sonic 2 was like the game that came out of Sega that was like, hey, somebody other than Nintendo can do a 2D platform.
That is true. I totally can agree with you on that. Yeah,
Because
because
like the
nobody
first
else could
Sonic
do it.
game was solid, but 2, there was so many positive changes that they made, and it hit.
And the soundtrack for Sonic 2 was also a banger.
Oh yeah. Plus, like, after watching a video not too long ago, on the animations in the game, they really did push those like, uh, I think it was 16-bit graphics.
Yeah, no,
They
that is
pushed
true.
that hard.
They did. They did absolutely push. They did push that pretty hard. You're not wrong on that.
It was just a game that came out that showed people, hey, you don't have to be Nintendo to make a really good home platformer.
True. I feel that. And you know what? I feel that. Now I'm kind of sad that I didn't actually put Sonic on my list. Damn.
I got a lot of things that I could put up here.
Yeah, I've got a lot of good ones. I'm actually gonna skip my number two, and I'm gonna actually go to my number three, and I'm actually gonna pick Pokemon, and specifically, I'm gonna pick one of the spin-off games, and I think you can guess exactly which one I'm gonna pick. I'm picking
Oh, I'm excited.
I'm picking Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness.
Yep.
Uh, so in my notes here, by the way, let's see if this will actually show up. Nope. Okay, so I'm gonna have to. Wow, I spelled Gale wrong because I am terrible. There we go. Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. So, and the reason, and for those of you wondering exactly why I decided to, oh God, I'm gonna have to do this. Oh God, oh this looks so bad. This looks so bad. Oh God.
No.
Let's see. There we go. Boom. All right. So the reason why I pick Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness was because it really like there was a ton of great Pokemon spin-off games, right? There's the Pokemon Ranger series, there's the Pokemon Mystery Dungeons, there's Pokemon Stadium. I mean, hell, Pokemon Snap, the OG, and the new one. But I just think
Yeah.
that And on my list here, I literally have it tied as Pokemon Stadium and XD Gale of Darkness. The reason why I chose XD Gale of Darkness was because it was something so different. And really, for the first time, I mean, because obviously Coliseum, I'm going to kind of I'm going to cheat a little bit and kind of rope Coliseum into it. But Coliseum didn't have. There was a certain level of joy that I had playing Coliseum. I had way more fun though playing Gale of Darkness. Like Gale of Darkness was just, I think the protagonist, like granted the protagonist
Yeah.
in both games really didn't say jack shit. Um but I think that the story for Gale of Darkness was better, and in those series it's the only time you can steal another person's Pokemon. Like
Yeah.
that defined people's like expectation of Pokemon because nobody was expecting, oh yeah, by the way, I'm just gonna rat this Pokemon. Also, first time ever that we have, technically we have a boss that has not six but seven fucking Pokemon in their party. The first time ever. That is legitimately the first time that we've ever had seven Pokemon as for a singular trainer, because you, in the battle against Grieville, you start off against the Lugia, and then Grieville gets mad that you ratted Lugia, and then hits you with the legendary birds, and then three more Pokemon after that, all shadows. Like no one was expecting that. So, and I just and again, I think you could have picked any of the Pokemon underneath. I think Gen 3 for like main games, and I wouldn't have been mad if anybody, like I could see arguments if people don't have Gale of Darkness on their list, and instead they had mystery dungeons, like the original mystery dungeons, and I think the not the first but the second Pokemon Ranger games really showed that Nintendo actually knew how to do a spin-off series off of the mainstream Pokemon games, and that really threw people for a loop, and it was a great time for it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you have anything else to say about it, but
It's just it's one of those things, like it's one of the few Pokemon games, if I remember correctly, that were not made by Game Freak. But
yeah,
also like they kind of put a little bit extra into the 3D models in those games. Like they still look good.
yeah, no, they are certifiable bangers. Like the graphics for the time were just mm, so good.
Like that's on the GameCube.
Yeah, the GameCube, which a lot of people like, it's the worst selling Nintendo console. I'm like, yeah, okay, bud. Like the GameCube is a banger. Like anybody that says the GameCube's not a banger clearly did not own a GameCube as a kid, because that was
I
my
know.
primary gaming system before I got an Xbox. Was
Yeah,
the
the
GameCube.
GameCube has had some of the most like iconic games.
Yeah, no, I mean there's so Mario Kart Double Dash,
Hmm.
Double Dash.
Mario Kart Double Dash, basically every single Mario Sports spin-off game that came out on the GameCube.
Yeah, and then slightly got improved upon on the Wii. Mid.
Most of them.
Yeah, most of them. There's still some stinkers, but so all right, Danny, what do you got for your number two?
Okay, my number two. This one's going to be a tough one, but I think for my number two, I think I have to go back one console because this one kicked off a whole lot in the genre, and I would have to say GoldenEye.
Yeah, it's actually number 8 on my list. So yeah,
Because, like, GoldenEye really brought the console market for FPS games. Like, it started the boom.
oh, 100%, 100%. Like, there's a reason why it was on my list. It's so good. Like the graphics are
Like,
memey now, but like,
the graphics are memey, the controls and stuff have kind of not necessarily aged the best because we've been spoiled by people that were inspired by GoldenEye. like even for instance, the original Marathon improved upon the controls that were sort of lifted from GoldenEye.
Yeah.
It's like everything in the FPS genre can be traced back to inspiration from GoldenEye at this point, basically.
Oh yeah. Hard agree. Hard agree. Yeah, and I mean, and it was, and like at the time, like the graphics were pretty decent for GoldenEye 2, and I mean, it was really one of the first games where you really got like split screen.
Yep. Even though it was definitely not balanced, it was still one of the first of its kind, so we can kind of overlook the fact that certain characters didn't have a proper hitbox.
Yep, yep. Uh no, I agreed. Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of things about GoldenEye that were not good, but it's just it really did define FPS's going forward for what easily a decade to 2 decades. Hell, even now, right?
Yeah,
Like you still
there's
see
there's
so much
still stuff.
inspiration. You still see so much inspiration from it.
Yeah, because like you can't go very far into the FPS genre itself without finding someone that was like, yeah, no, when I was growing up, I played GoldenEye. Like everybody's had experience with GoldenEye if you work on FPS games.
Oh
Like
yeah,
you either heard about it, you've seen it, or you played it, or all three.
exactly.
So I had to put it there.
Hey, you know what? I absolutely respect that, and you know what? I'm glad that you kind of stole it from me, because I'm gonna meme on you a little bit here, Danny, because you said GoldenEye
Right?
being the first of its kind. I'm gonna one up you and say the first overall, and I'm taking Pong as my next pick for number 3.
Well, I mean, we really can't get any more influential for gaming than the first like actual like marketed game. that, that's pretty up there.
Yeah, and like it really kicked off because it was 3 fucking lines. 3 lines. The line that divided each side, and the 2 paddles that went up and down with the ball that went back and forth. As simplistic as it is, like we take a look at the crazy ass graphics that we see now. Pong was the one that started basically video games. Like it,
Yep.
all video games have their origin in Pong. Without Pong, there may not be new video games, right? Like it is really kind of the hardcore originator of video games as a whole, because it was revolutionary. And all of the, I mean, hell, there's isn't there a movie about Pong, about literally
There's a
getting the
movie
rights to
about
sell it?
Tetris.
Oh, Tetris, that's what it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
because Tetris was right. Tetris was
Tetris was the first marketed game for a Nintendo console, I think, that was not made or at least like vetted by Nintendo directly.
yeah, but I mean, look at how simplistic Tetris is, and now there's world championships. But wouldn't
Yeah,
have had Tetris if we didn't fucking have Pong.
yep. Because
All
like,
hail to the king.
yeah,
I had to, Danny. I had to pull out the meme on you.
no, it's fair. It's fair.
So let's see. I gotta put notes in here of all of the games that I've currently taken. So, all right, Danny, what do you got for your third pick after seeing after seeing mine?
Pong is a good one.
Pong is such a good one.
Let's see, where do I go from there? This is where it's going to start getting a little tough to narrow it down.
I know. I'm looking at
Because
my list and I only have 2 left.
I could. You know what? I think I'm actually going to use one of my other surprise picks for this one. A revolutionary game for home racing. that basically was ported directly from the arcades. A little game by the name of Daytona USA.
Hey, I'm mad. You know what? I'm mad that I don't have that. Mad respect to that. That is a good. That is a good pick.
Because like it's one of the games that really like kicked off that hey, we could take this arcade game and bring it to home consoles.
Yeah, because there's also because Daytona was the first one, and then right after that it was Cruise, I think, right?
Yes, I
Yeah,
think so.
yeah,
Because it was one of a handful that ended up making that move from arcade cabinet to consoles at the time.
yeah.
Which like Sega started making they started doing that with a lot of games, making a cabinet and then a home version. Because they did it with Daytona, and I think later they did it with Crazy Taxi.
Yo, that's another game. I don't have that on my list, but man, I'm kind of tempted to replace it right now.
Because like a lot of people will always think when you think of like console racing games, you always think of like Mario Kart, for instance.
Yeah, like
But
Mario Kart. I think also like the Need for Speed series also is pretty up there.
oh yeah,
But I think you're right. I think Daytona really brought the well the fact that they took it from arcade and brought it to home console was big enough as it was. Right, that was huge because people didn't think that that was possible. Like, how are you gonna
yeah.
fit
Because
all this
like
shit that's in a machine into this tiny little ass box?
and it's like how are you going to translate the steering wheel and the pedal controls to this little essentially this little keypad? Like you got a joystick at this point, but you're mostly using like a D-pad. But it was big. It was a big jump, and it led to a lot of innovations, specifically with like racing games. 'Cause, like Mario Kart started a lot of things, but Sega was right there with them.
Yeah,
It pushed that competition
yeah. I'm 100% with you on that.
because without the competition between Nintendo and Sega with these racing games, we probably would not have had the Need for Speed series.
Need for Speed, Burnout, like I mean, hell, Forza, like the number
Yeah,
one racing game right now. Yeah, all without Daytona USA, it ain't shit. So
so
I
you
agree with you
needed
on
that
that.
competition
Oh yeah, oh yeah, man. I gotta think about this pick here, Danny, because I'm like, is there something that I could rat from your list right now? Because I'm looking at my list and I'm like, I don't know, because you're pulling out some good ones, and I'm like debating what I want to pull out here. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna do it, and I'm actually gonna take a recent game. I'm gonna take Baldur's Gate 3.
That's fair.
Uh, and for those of you wondering why I'm taking Baldur's Gate 3, for those of you that have not watched all of the podcast videos, Danny and I very heavily talked about the consequences of AAA gaming and the kind of corruption and what it actually means to develop a game. And one of the things that we talked about was Larian Studios bringing Baldur's Gate 3 into the public eye and then winning the Game Awards, winning Game of the Year against nothing but AAA studio games for the most part, absolutely showed that AAA studios are on a downfall because a lot of them are producing kind of hot dog shit. And Larian Studios was like, we're going to make a game, we're going to listen to our audience, and we're going to improve it, and we're going to fix bugs, and we're going to pump out a game that people are excited for, that want to learn how to play, and that want to do whatever they want in that game. And it really showed that there is a really big indie renaissance in the gaming industry right now because all these AAA studios are just eating shit. because they're just pumping out the same games that they've been producing for the past 10, 15, 20 years, thinking, oh yeah, my audience, like our general contact audience, is going to buy the game. And yet Baldur's Gate 3 won because it was just a superior game. It was just made better in every which way, shape, and form. And I think
Yeah.
that that really defined it because I mean, look at the following year. The next winner was Astrobot, a family-friendly game. No one saw that coming. No one saw.
Specifically, a mascot platformer.
Yeah, no one saw that. Nobody saw Astrobot winning. Like, it's insanity. And Baldur's Gate 3 actually laid the groundwork for it to win because people saw how good Baldur's Gate 3 was, and then people actually saw how fun Astrobot was, and the fact that, well, you don't actually have to make a raunchy video game in order for a video game to be good. It can be just a family friendly kind of party game. And it worked. And Baldur's Gate 3 is still laying down the foundation for indie games to come into the circle right now because there's more and more one person, two person, three person development studios that are pumping out games on Steam that people are falling in love with that are only like 5, 10, 15 bucks, maybe 20 at the max. And it's showing these AAA studios that damn, if we just listen to our people, like listen to our audience, we could actually produce a good game instead of releasing another Black Ops game that sucks dick. I'm looking at you, Call of Duty. I would, Danny, you're gonna have to go back and watch this video because I just flipped off everything by EA ever. So, but yeah,
uh,
but I was like, I don't know if Baldur's Gate 3 was on your list or not, but I was like, it's too good to not take.
it's a really solid pick.
Yeah. All right, what do you got? What do you got for number 4, Danny?
All right, for my number 4, I'm definitely gonna have to think here on this one. Let's see, because Baldur's Gate was a very good choice.
I'm very proud of it. I'm sad that it wasn't on your list though, because it means you technically have one over me.
Let's see. I could bust out an old one
Okay.
that kicked off an entire new genre.
Okay.
So this one still inspires games to this point, and I think it is very important to mention it. We're gonna go back to one of FromSoft's very first games,
Oh,
Kingsfield.
that is a very good choice.
Kingsfield is the originator of the Souls-like genre, if I'm remembering my facts correctly. And honestly, the gameplay of it still kind of holds up. It's first person. All you have essentially that you can see is just your hands, and you get, I think, a little portrait. And it's just a dungeon crawler. But there is the cadence to the combat that started off what FromSoft ended up doing very well, and other studios have picked up and ran with it and have done incredible work. Like, for instance, one of the games that I absolutely love that came out not too long ago, Liza P, is a phenomenal Souls-like game from a different studio, which I'm going to put this out here. It actually has a difficulty slider. You have different difficulties you can play the game through, so you can actually, play the game if you don't want it to literally beat your face in constantly.
But why would you play a Souls-like game if it couldn't beat your face
I mean, you can play it again.
in? True. No,
But
that's a really good choice because you are right. Kingsfield really kicked off that hardcore style. Like you gotta grind that shit, bruh.
yeah,
Like,
it got people's eyes on FromSoft, which their next series that they made after Kingsfield, after they had a bit of attention put on them, was Demon Souls, and that kicked off everything for FromSoft.
Yeah, and they haven't stopped yet.
Now, like, they, considering that they are not part of any major game publisher, they're doing pretty good. Like, they're one of the few that's still technically their own company.
Yeah. Yeah, and they get to do whatever they want because people want to play the game, so they want to be able to get a hold of it.
They've got a very diehard fan base.
Oh yeah. Trying to line this up. Boom, there we go. All right. No, I agree. 100%. No, that's a very 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 good pick. Um which I think leads me into I think my last pick and then we can do honorable mentions after both of us have our 5.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to pick. Oh man, because I know that there was a game before it that technically started the series or that started the genre, but I think the one that really popularized it. I mean, there's so many versions of it. I, oh, man, because I'm caught between the two.
yeah.
I think I have to do this one specifically because this one you were more likely to be able to play as a kid because there was a lot more gore in the other one. And I'm going to go to the fighting style series, and I'm actually going to go to Street Fighter.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I was stuck between Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. And the reason why I didn't go Mortal Kombat was because Street Fighter was able to have a wider audience at a younger age because there was no blood. And that was a huge thing in the 80s, 90s and early 2000s was games couldn't like if you wanted to market your thing, you couldn't have that much blood in the games. Now, obviously, nowadays, right, you can get all kinds of crazy shit. I mean, for fuck's sakes, look at the Gears of War series. Look at Doom.
Oh yeah.
Like, you can have all kinds of fucking gore. But, when Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and, Tekken, Soul Calibur, oh, what's the other one? It's, King of Swords? Is it? The
King of Fighters?
King of Fighters, yeah. All of those different fighting games, I think Street Fighter was the one that really stood out because so many of the characters were so easily recognizable and were just so they were easily recognizable. They called out their a lot of them call I think Street Fighter was actually the first one where they actually called out their moves when they did it. I could be wrong on that though. But I think
I think so.
yeah. And I just think that Street Fighter really defined fighting games as a whole because it had a wider audience than Mortal Kombat because it could be actually advertised to kids. Like, granted, there's still violence, but there's no blood. There's no blood and no gore. So you could advertise it to a younger age and get away with it. It was very cartoon-like compared to a lot of the other fighting games, which had a lot more like rigid and rough graphics, right? When you take a look at OG Tekken
Oh yeah.
it's kind of gross actually looking at it now. Like we were like that was like looking at it then it was okay. Looking at it now like damn, that was the graphics, bro? Shit. And
Oh yeah.
granted the
No, a
graphics
lot of
now are
those
pretty
haven't aged well.
yeah, a lot of the old fighting games didn't age well. But you can take a look at the Street Fighter games, and I believe they were just in large. They were just what? I think it was either 64 or 128-bit, right? What was?
Yeah, it was not very many because it was still that transitional period.
The first Street Fighter arcade game released in 1987 was designed for 16-bit arcade hardware. Subsequent home console versions, like the popular Street Fighter 2, were released on both 8-bit and 16-bit. Like, there you go. Like, 16-bit, brother. 16-bit is pretty fucking insane. So, and I really think that Street Fighter really brought a big popularity into the fighting genre. And from there, you get a lot of other games, right? Like you've got the Soul Calibur series, you've got Tekken, and I would also include things like Naruto Storm and DBZ's Budokai, right? Because those are technically fighting games. They're just 3D. They had
Yeah,
destructive worlds, right? But Street Fighter was really the one that really, I think, hardcore popularized fighting games. Fighting games, or the one on one fighting game combats. And you can make an argument for like Marvel versus Capcom and stuff like that. But I just think Street Fighter had the edge on it just a little bit.
I can agree with that.
So, all right, Danny, what do you got for your final pick?
All right, I now is when I'm gonna bust out the bit of the meme knowledge here
Okay, I'm
because I gotta
interested.
go with a game that sort of intentionally but sort of inadvertently had a massive impact on games as a whole. We gotta go with for my last one here. I gotta go with Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Oh, I was I was not expecting that, Danny.
As the game that basically forced the existence of rating.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a
Y-
pretty good one to take. If Pong
When
originated games, Conker's the reason why ratings exist.
yeah, at giving Rare the challenge of making a game that is not intended for kids. Because so many outlets at the time thought games are only for kids. Rare was like, all right, challenge accepted. Like the same studio that gave you Banjo Kazooie made that.
I know, which, by the way, is still also for those of you watching the YouTube video, you're seeing me fuck with my stream elements right now because we're gonna have to make room for our honorable mentions. No, I really agree with you on that because it really is so iconic because it also showed like you can make a video game that's raunchy and it will do well by word of mouth of oh shit, this is for me. This is not for my 5-year-old son. This is for me.
Yeah, it's like the 1-2 combo of Conquer and Mortal Kombat really like pushed that rating system. And to be honest, it was one of the things that gaming kind of needed at the time because you needed that little like separation of like, okay, these are for kids, these are not for kids.
Yeah, what can we get away with? What can we not get away with? I can absolutely agree with that, Danny, 100%. Uh,
Like on top of it, pushing that envelope, it's a pretty solid game. Have the bits in it aged well? God, no.
no,
There's a lot of bits and conquers that have not aged well at all.
no, there is that. Conker's Bad Fur Day is whoo, woo, yeah, no, you are not kidding, Danny. It because it is definitely raunchy and it is definitely a little racy.
Yeah, like when you think of the time that that game came out, you're like, even movies weren't trying to push that hard.
Unless your name was Mel Brooks.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, no, I agree on that. And I think Danny, what we're gonna do here is I think we're gonna do a mixed honorable mentions, games that we had on our list, but we just didn't make the top 5 cut. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
So, I would like to present to you the idea uh, of either Slay the Spire or Darkest Dungeon as the game that popularized roguelikes? Which one would you pick?
Hmm.
Or is there a better option that you think would be better than those two? Because I think those two were really the first two that really kind of kicked off because of how popular they were of that genre. Because there's a lot of great roguelikes. Like there's Enter the Gungeon, there's Hades, but there were games, there were roguelikes that were popular before Hades was.
This we do have to remember where they got the name from.
Oh?
Because like everything goes back to the game Rogue,
Yeah. You know what? Let's do Rogue. We will do Rogue then
which
as
is
one of our
like
honorable
it's
mentions.
very amusing because they started working on Rogue in 1978 and it finished in 1980.
And it's crazy because roguelikes didn't really kick off for a while.
It took a while. The concept had been there for a long time.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But just like it's one of those things where the concept is kind of ahead of its time.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
But there's a lot of games that have come out that have taken that formula and have done phenomenal work with it.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. And the roguelike series, like the roguelike games, really didn't start kicking off till about 5 to 6 years ago, which is crazy because
Yeah,
Rogue came out what 40 years ago now, 40 plus,
yeah.
which is
It's
insanity to me.
and now some of the most like interesting roguelikes and roguelites that have come out have used that formula and have seen incredible success. Like one of my favorites, Hades.
Agreed.
I always have to throw Hades when I get an opportunity.
No, I get it. I get it. Hades is popular.
And even the runner-up game of the year last year, Balatro, is a roguelike.
Yeah. No, 100% agreed. Do you have a series or game that you would like to pick as an honorable mention for number two?
Oh, my honestly, my honorable mention was actually probably going to be the Need for Speed
Yeah.
series.
I mean, it really did kind of push the limits for that.
And also one of the series that actually started the funny licensed music
Oh, that's right. There was
trends.
actual music, like actual band songs in there.
Yep, which I'm reminded of every time that I see a video of the intro for a lot of the Need for Speed games. I'm like, oh yeah, no, this heavily copyrighted song is literally the intro for this game.
Yeah, which is wild that they actually got it back then.
It's like EA in their like prime was like on fire. Specifically, the studios they had under them were on fire, but
Oh yeah, and then they absolutely shit the bed around 2015.
yeah, no, like right around in between that, like toward like the mid to latter 2010s, they started like going way overboard.
I would say after Black Ops 2 is when it really started to go downhill.
Are you thinking Activision?
Oh, that's active. Is that? Oh, that is
That's
Activision.
Activision. Yeah,
What games
that's
came?
when they
What?
started uh moving in and focusing more on the mainline sports games instead of like
Oh,
extra because they started closing down EA Big and some of the other studios that were making like the street games and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, I feel that. I definitely understand that. Um, no, I can agree on that. Man, for number three, I'm kind of torn because I feel like we need to mention a Nintendo series, and I don't know if we need to mention Mario or Zelda.
I, you know what? I can mention one of those
Okay.
because the Mario sports games.
Oh, yeah, because there's also like Mario versus Sonic Olympics.
Yep,
That was a great one. Well, you know what? We'll put that.
like
We'll put the Mario versus Sonic Olympics.
like just the sports spin-off games from them. Like there's just something about them which I won't take all the time it really takes to dig into the mechanically deep game that Mario Baseball is, because they're still finding stuff out about that game. Like literally, Mario Sluggers, the one that came out on the GameCube, they are still finding things that are new in that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is an actual professional league for that game.
Which is still wild to me. I was also thinking about it, Danny, and I'm like, oh man, I feel like in this spot we could also argue for Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
But there's one particular thing that I really do want to mention for our number four. So I'm like, is the Mario vs Sonic Sports series and like all of the Mario sports games better than Smash Brothers in like games that defined a generation?
it's tough because like Smash is one of those things where it has a very dedicated fan base, but they are very torn on which game.
Which is crazy because anybody that doesn't say Melee is wrong.
Like Melee, I think overall, I could be wrong with this if any Smash players are around, but I feel like Melee is the one that has the most like general balance.
Yeah, because we're definitely not going to talk about Brawl and fucking Meta Knight.
Brawl has a lot of banned characters and stages.
Yup.
And Ultimate has the crossover fatigue, I think, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. And here's my thing for number four, and I think you may give me a little bit of backlash on this because I know for JRPGs, right? I know your
Hmm.
instinct is going to go Dragon Quest. I think though that the more popular one that I think we should go with is going to be the Final Fantasy series.
I can't really disagree with it because Final Fantasy has one of those like super dedicated fan bases, and like it speaks for itself.
Yeah, and I mean Final Fantasy really like there's a lot of really good JRPGs. Like there's a ton
Oh
of
yeah,
great JRPGs. I mean, the Shin Megami Tensei series, right? Uh there's oh my god, I'm blanking on the fucking name of it. Fire Emblem is
yep,
another great one. And again, Dragon Quest, really the kind of the king of the JRPGs. But I think Final Fantasy became so widespread so quickly
yeah.
because I think just because it was one of the first ones where you really actually got to hear voice acting. And
Final Fantasy is it's one of the ones that translated much better to a Western audience.
yeah, Well, and also the characters were so unique and so fucking lovable.
They have that like kind of like preferred fantasy aesthetic for a lot of people.
Yeah, because it really was the Final Fantasy that you wanted to live out, right? Of doing big damage and healing your allies and fighting the big bad boss, which was in fact a big bad boss.
Yeah, like
Like Final Fantasy bosses,
it's
they're just there's something good about a good Final Fantasy boss.
yeah, it's like they. I can admit that they do boss fights very well.
That's not counting the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy 14.
Uh, the
Oh
amount of
damn,
times I've heard that.
damn. Oh, I don't have any more room for honorable mentions, but I think at number 5, I think we have to go with WoW though, for MMOs.
Yeah,
I think. I mean, there's so many good ones. There's so many good MMOs, but I
you
think.
could slide a lot of MMOs into the slot because like there you ask different people, they'll probably have a different option for their go-to MMO.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say Final Fantasy 14. I
A lot
think
of
I
people.
think WoW is. I think. I mean, even now, right? WoW just draws a certain level of attention. I mean, hell, there's a reason why they started Classic because people wanted to go back and enjoy the old expansions for a way cheaper price. They said, "Hey, 15 bucks a month, you can play Classic and regrind through all of the expansions with you and your buddies. You can play all the classes, all the patch, all the old patches, experience all the old bosses, the grinding, everything. Just almost exactly like it was with some improvements." Because there have been improvements in the Classic era. And WoW Retail is fucking insane. The War Within and Dragonflight were, from what I've heard, were really really good, especially after the shit show that was Shadowlands.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people enjoying it when it dropped.
Yeah, I mean, I got into WoW Classic because of my fraternity brothers, and I had the absolute most fun I think I had had in a very long time of just playing with them, going into raids. Because I started, now I didn't get to raid through Classic or TBC. I started basically like the first month that Wrath of the Lich King was out. And that was some of the most fun I'd ever had. And then I grinded all the way through Cataclysm, and now, literally next week, or this week, I think actually, because I think when does Mists of Pandora drop? I think, well, uh, it literally drops. So Mists of Pandaria, MOP for short, Classic drops July 21st. It drops in 2 weeks. So it's people are excited to go back and play through the old expansions. And again, I apologize. There's legitimately zero room left for me to put WoW up on the honorable mentions, but we will count it as the one of the honorable mentions. But in parentheses with an asterisk, it'll just say pick an MMO. Pick one. Pick one. There's plenty of options. Just pick one. Like MMOs have been around for God knows how long now, and they really are like a key portion of the gaming community, right? Because there's so many people that enjoy them, and there's so many WoW spin-offs. I mean, there was Terra, there was Allion, there was the one that's the massive paywall one. I can't remember what the name of it is. I think it's Desert something.
Oh, it sounds like speaking of a massive paywall, that just makes me think of Black Desert.
I think that's what it is. I think Black Desert Online. I think that's the name of it. Is that it?
I remember it having a lot. I don't know if it still does or not, but I remember it having a lot when I tried it out.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, pick an MMO. Like, I think MMOs and this is what I and this is kind of the interesting thing is I think that you can pick pretty much any MMO because so many were started all roughly around the same time. So you can kind of just pick one and it doesn't really matter because so many started around the same time because everybody got word that an MMO was coming out and they're like, "Oh my god, we also have to make an MMO." And there
Yep.
were like several dozen that dropped within the next like 5 years. Now, granted a lot of them
Yep.
died off, but still it created a huge craze in the 90s.
Yeah. It's
90s early
something that
2000s.
happens. It happens a lot in gaming, just in general. Like you'll see one or two games of a certain type like really pop off, and then just dozens try to replicate it, but then only like a handful make it past like 5 years.
Yeah. It's and I hate to say it, Danny, it's a lot like anime. Like, do you remember
Yeah.
because if we're talking about the originator of isekai anime, it's Dot Hack Live. But if you want to
Yes.
know the real start of the isekai like bombing of like a bunch of anime, it was Sword Art Online and Log Horizon. Those were the two big ones that really dropped and then really hardcore kicked off the isekai genre, which thank
Oh yeah.
God finally dropped off and now we just have really dumb like not even good rom-coms. They're like half of them are really shitty.
Yeah.
Now we're back into the
Like
shonen area of like My Hero, JJK. I still think Attack on Titan does not belong in the top 10 anime of all time. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Fight in the comments
No,
about it. Fight me.
there's so many things that are just better, to be honest.
Yeah. And it's not saying like there's not like good isekai, right? Like again, first season
I
of Sword
like the silly ones.
yeah, like first season of Sword Art Online is peak isekai anime. And then after Alfheim and then they go into Gun Gale, kind of it goes downhill from there. I don't care about Alicization. It I don't care.
It's
They're literally just copying Fate Stay Night at that point. Um, but Log Horizon was so much, in my opinion, so much better of an anime. If you can get past the politicking of it, it's just infinitely better in my opinion.
from what I've heard, it's one that kind of stuck closer to the formula that Dot Hack laid out.
Yeah, yeah, it stuck to a lot closer to that. And then there's a couple really good isekais. Uh, I am I am a slut for Black Summoner. I think Black Summoner funny is such a funny isekai, and it's just so ridiculous that it's good. And then the other one, which is season 4, literally just dropped. I think 2 days ago. If you were watching this, the day this comes out, um, Rising of the Shield Hero. If you can forgive season 2, season 1, season 3 are great. But yeah, like, and that's the same thing about video games is we get into this age where kind of like where I picked Baldur's Gate 3 with a little bit of difference because Baldur's Gate 3 is basically making fun of uh, the whole AAA. Basically, they roasted
Yeah,
the entire AAA
like
industry as a whole.
to yeah, to put it into perspective, Larian paid out of pocket for the rights to make Baldur's Gate 3.
And I mean, they earned every
They
fucking
wanted
vote.
to make the game.
Yeah, they earned their right to win that game award
Yeah.
for Game of the Year. Like they deserved that.
They took several years and genuinely listened to feedback
I mean, the
for
beta was
what
out for
to do to
so
make the
fucking
game
long.
better.
The
Which,
beta was out for like 2 fucking years while they were getting testing on it, and they were releasing the chapters bit by bit so people could be like, "Oh, hey, by the way, there's a bug here," and they were like, "Thank you, we will
yeah,
fix that," and they fixed it. I cannot
and
stress that enough. People reported a bug and they fucking did their jobs.
Yeah.
That's like an unheard of concept by anybody by the name of EA, Activision, so on and so forth.
Hey, maybe if they didn't get rid of their Q&A teams, they wouldn't have the
Facts.
bugs.
True. Ah, see, this is why Q&A exists, motherfuckers.
Yeah, you gotta have somebody to make sure that like sometimes there are things that you won't find in that closed environment that somebody's gonna find immediately as soon as it goes live.
Yeah.
The reason I know that so well and know that like the back of my hand is because I've been playing Destiny for over a decade.
Oh, that's so sad.
It's if there is something that will have a bug in it in the closed environment, you better believe somebody's going to find it when the game goes live. And it's not going to take them long.
Look, if people want to break the game, they're gonna break it, regardless if you want them to or not.
Sometimes you just got to accept it and just make it a feature
Pretty
too.
much. Oh yeah, no, 100%. I mean,
But
take a look at League of Legends. Like, there's so many bugs and so many fucking things that people that Riot was just like, you know what? Fuck it. It's now a feature of the champion.
just like sometimes as that I've learned from people that are developers is you spend all this time working on something and you can only test it so much in the closed environment. You see something you worked on and then usually within like a month or so there'll be something that'll pop up on YouTube of somebody completing your game in like 20 minutes. And it's just like okay. All
Well,
right.
shit, we did not. Oh, we didn't catch that apparently.
Taking a look at the run and you're like, okay, this section is like really well laid out and everything, and they clip out of the wall in like 2 seconds. It's like oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
no,
right.
exactly. But yeah, no,
Like,
it's wild.
yeah, but like, to be honest, all that time they spent working on Baldur's Gate, the content that's in the game, if you take your time and actually do like story and side story and stuff like that, that's over 100 hours of content. Like, easy.
Oh yeah,
And you can't do everything in the game in one playthrough.
yeah, it's
It
literally
is,
impossible
yeah,
because
like,
based on what decisions you make, other decisions are locked out.
yeah, and even based on what character you're playing,
Yeah. Well,
like what
also
your origin is,
yeah, the replayability of Baldur's Gate is just, mm, it's
and that's before mods.
it makes you love D&D again.
Yeah,
Like,
like,
I know several people that played Baldur's Gate 3 and went, I'm gonna go restart a campaign.
yeah, because like Baldur's Gate is a D&D story. Like,
It's yeah, it's quite literally based on D&D
the only thing
because the
that
original
Larian did,
go
they
for it.
just tweaked the skills a little bit.
Well, yeah, because they cap your level at 12 compared to normally it would be capped at 20 for the actual role playing game. And they
Yeah.
did that, and they actually had several interviews telling why. Because they one of the reasons was at level 20, well, specifically after level 12, uh, you are kind of OP in
Oh
D&D.
God, yeah.
Like so most people, okay? Like the major breakpoints for most classes are either levels 2 and 3. That's normally when you get like your major class abilities. And I say 2 and 3 because monks get their like big key points and clerics get their like devotions at level 2, and then the rest of the classes get their stuff at level 3, with with the exception of like the barbarian getting their rage at level 1, the druid getting their wild shape, their shape shift at level 1, stuff like that. So level 2 and 3 is like the first major hurdle. Then the next level is normally level 5 or 6. That's when you normally start getting like your really big spell, like your first like actual spell casts that aren't just basically cantrip pluses. then you get to level 9 and 10. Well, I guess you could say anywhere between 9 and 12 because there's a ton of things that you can do at 9 and 12. You can get more feats, you can get a ton more stat bonuses, you can get bonuses. And also, anywhere between 9 and 12 is most often normally when people start multi classing. Because you've gotten like most of like the major things that you need from a specific class, and then they were just like, let's just cap it at 12, and we'll just take all of the good shit from levels 1 through 20 and compress it into levels 1 through 12. And because otherwise the amount of XP to actually get to level 20, fun fact, it's a fucking lot. um I know campaigns. I have had buddies in campaigns that have spanned over 5 years and they still didn't hit level 20, just because of the way that they do leveling is because there's multiple ways that you can do leveling based on actual XP or through like actual like events in the role playing game itself. It's kind of up to the dungeon master. The whole point of this tangent, right, is that they compressed everything and then took some stuff out because they were like it would either make shit OP, which by the way, people were still OP anyways,
Oh
and
yeah.
they just said, you know what, fuck it, let them have it. It's it is a role playing game. It is not a PvP game. It is a PvE game that you can play with your buddies and meme with. Let them
Mm,
have fun. Like Larian
mm,
Studios literally gave us the cake and told us to eat it.
yeah. Literally, the only thing I remember them nerfing was an unintentional stacking of damage. If you
Yeah, because
combined rogue and mage,
mm-hmm.
because you could get the sneak attack bonus. And
Yeah, sneak attack fireball kind of hurts.
sneak attack fireball hit hard, but sneak attack eldritch blast, basically guaranteeing a crit every time, is a little strong.
Yeah, yeah,
Watching a boss lose like 3/4 of its health from an eldritch blast is kind of crazy.
yeah. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is our video games that we have chosen, video games that defined a generation. And now I would like to propose the question, Danny. Which
Yeah.
game on each of our lists, so I'll pick one from yours and you pick one from mine, which one were you not expecting the other to take? uh, and if you want, I will go first. So that way you have some time to think. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm actually gonna choose. I'm actually gonna choose Daytona USA because I was not expecting the Daytona of all things. Like Conquers was up there, but I'm like, that sounds right up Danny's alley of just playing meme shit. Was not expecting the the OG racer. Was not expecting that. I was honestly expecting you to go with something like F-Zero or some dumb shit like that if you're going to pick a
I
racing game.
thought about
Or a
it
Mario Kart game. Like any of the kart games. Specifically, Double Dash. By the way, Nintendo, where Double Dash? Gibbet.
because like I thought about a lot of games, but then I was like, Daytona really did have that big jump and opened up a lot of options, specifically for like Sega, because Sega was always like they had the arcade side and then the console side.
Yeah.
Like there were a lot of Sega games that genuinely like audiences missed out on just because they were arcade only. And then after Daytona, there stopped being a whole lot of arcade only games from Sega. There's still a handful that have like special arcade cabinet only differences. But that like that bridge, the first time they did it and they just kept doing it.
Yeah. Because the other one that the other racing one that I think they did, I think that was Hydro.
Yep,
Hydro, I think was because they Sega did Hydro, right?
I think so.
Hold on, what is the actual full name of it? It's Hydro something.
Hydro Thunder?
Hydro Thunder, that's what it is. Who developed Hydro Thunder? That was
See,
the developer was Midway Games, Eurocom, Blue Shift, and
Midway.
Midway. Midway was the other one that did that because Hydro Thunder also came out. It came out on the Dreamcast, Nintendo 64, and PlayStation.
Also, like Midway Games, may they rest in peace. Uh, Came out with a lot of really iconic games. Two of my standouts being, of course, Hydro Thunder and Rampage.
Oh my god, I forgot about Rampage. I straight up forgot about Rampage. Oh my
Yeah,
god. I mean, let's see. What else did they have?
I know they made a lot.
Let's see. So they did. I'm taking a look at all of them because they did. Oh, I forgot. Midway did fucking Miss Pac-Man and Tron.
Yeah,
I
they also
forgot
did a
they.
lot of pinball cabinets.
Yeah, Junior Pac-Man, Journey, Demolition Derby, Rampage. Oh my god, they did the original Xenophobe. Trog, Total Carnage. They did Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Holy shit, wait, no, they did. Midway did Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah, they were the original studio that worked with NetherRealm.
Also, they made the greatest 2v2 game ever created, NBA Jam.
Yep.
Also nicknamed by my cousin so belovedly NBA Slams. Because the rule was every time the other person scored, you had to take a shot. So you had to slam a shot. Or if anybody what was it? Whenever anybody gets on fire, you had to take it. You got slammed, so you had to slam a shot down. Oh my god! They also did Killer Instinct, Cruisin' USA, Mortal Kombat 3. Like God, bro, what they did? Mortal Kombat. What the hell? They did some
Yeah, they
bangers.
they were responsible for a
They
lot
did
of
Doom
like
64.
yeah, they're responsible for a lot of like iconic games.
What was their last game they did? Hold on, I have to look. Where are the legends? The last game they did was 2009 in March, which was Wheelman, which I don't know that one, but
Vin Diesel's Wheelman,
but the game before that was Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe.
which was the game that inspired Injustice.
Yep, and that was 2008. Oh my god, they did Unreal Tournament 3. Bro, I forgot Midway just made some fucking bangers in here. They also did an Ed and Eddie game, and they also did a Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy game. What the fuck am I looking at? What is this? Bro, their
Yeah,
fucking list is the most wild thing I think I've ever seen. Like,
they're responsible for Lord of Rings Online.
oh my god, yeah. They did Slugfest, which is fucking hysterical. I mean, yeah, no, Midway had some bangers. But yeah, so, but yeah, alright, so Danny, what on my list caught you off guard?
Oh, I'm trying to think now because you did get me. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head because I can't remember if it was the second or the third one
I think it
that
was,
got me.
so second was Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, and number three was Pong.
Oh, it was definitely Pong. It's definitely Pong.
You were not expecting for me to take the originator.
I, that one kind of got me because I was like, I was gonna take it back with a lot of mine. I wasn't expecting Pong to come up.
Hey, you want to talk about a game that defined a generation? How about a game that defined video games as a whole? Because it
It's like
is the OG, the king.
the starting.
the "you start here" button, by the way, like if you take a look at video game timelines and you see Pong at the very beginning, and you have this little dot that's like at the mall that just says "you are here," like that's Pong. It's where it all began, and I had to pay respect to it. I could not take it, like because I took Halo, I took Pokemon, XD Gale of Darkness, and I'm like, you know what? You hit me with GoldenEye. They're like the real good, like the real originator of like first person shooters, and I was like, you know what? If you're gonna take the first person shooter, I'm just gonna take the first fucking game as a whole, and let's see you top that one.
It's like, yeah, no, that that one got me.
Well, I think like also it's just you wouldn't have expected me of all people to just come out with that one because you look at the list and it's like Halo, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, Baldur's Gate 3, Street Fighter. You're like, where the fuck did Pong come from? But yeah, no, I mean it was and I knew that I needed to take it because I played Pong as a kid. I loved Pong as a kid because it was super simple, it was super easy to understand, and it teaches you how to properly fucking move a joystick up and down.
Yep,
Like you don't get
like
more basic than that.
it's true. It's one of the games that I have played a fair bit in my gaming journey.
Oh yeah, and it's so good. Like it's hard to not choose. Like it's and because I was like, it's on my list because I was like, you know what? It's a game that it defined gaming as a whole, right? The first video game, like the
Yeah,
first video game and first mainstream video game, like so simple, and you could hook it up, fucking literally anywhere. You could plug it into your fucking CRT TV and just go to town.
exactly.
So I want to let you know, Danny, that we have officially hit our 1 hour and 22 minute mark. Let's go. So with
Yeah,
that being said, Danny, I think we should discuss uh, what we should have as our. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna go onto my YouTube channel real quick and see if anybody commented on uh, what top five we should do. I am curious. I'm gonna swap over real quick and see if anybody commented slash watched the video from that I uploaded last week.
just to also point that out while you're doing that, if anyone is listening to this part right now, if you comment, there is a very good chance we will do top five.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. There is a very good chance that we will actually do what you ask, because there's a lot of stuff that we're just like, you know what? Let's do that.
That's why, like, one of the videos on my video channel ended up being me playing the fucking Locust and War Thunder because I got a comment asking about playing the Locust. And I was like, okay. I've only talked in 3 of my videos about how much I hate this fucking thing existing.
So unfortunately, Danny, there is no comments on the video, which means you and I get to choose what our next top five versus tier list is going to be about. And you know what? I chose top 10, uh, top top five video games for each of us that define the generation. How about you pick a top five this time? That way we can have a little
Ooh,
back and forth. That way you can possibly have an edge on that.
ooh, I could do something. I have an idea for something game related that isn't a game at all.
Okay.
But we have a top 5 of controllers.
Ooh, top five controllers. I'm in. I'm in. I'm so in.
There's some funky ones.
There is some whack controllers because and I think that we should state this now. We are going to count third party controllers in this too.
Oh, we absolutely are.
Yeah. Because god damn, there are some bangers. There are some bangers, dude.
There is one in particular that I cannot wait to bring up.
There's one that I had from my childhood. It's not super memey. It's more nostalgic than anything else that I would bring out. So,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, so yeah, ladies and gents, that is our list. If you are watching this video, please, please, please go down in the comments below and let us know what top five tier list that we should do next time in the future. Cause we're next video. If we have no fucking content or no news to talk about, we're gonna be talking about the top five controllers from each of us. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, with that being said, Danny, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitch and YouTube at CatboxDanny.
You can also find me on Twitch and YouTube at Domini Fox or on Twitter at Domini Fox 1. Thank you all so much for your time. We really appreciate it. We hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, don't be a sweat lord. We'll see you guys next time.